Mic check, mic check. Looks like we're good. And welcome back to another. Wait, no, that's not it. Denizens of the Grid. Welcome back to another round of Android Netrunner. Today we're going to be building a deck, which is always fun. Fair warning and reminder: I am not an excellent Netrunner player. I'm certainly not the best Netrunner player. There was a time I was tournament wins, blah blah blah. Now I just play for fun, and boy howdy do I have fun. In fact, that would I would say be my greatest strength in Netrunner is that I like playing the game and I have fun playing it. So deck list of the week is now the deck list that I've been playing many times and had so much fun to play. Blah 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 blah. Which is great. Unfortunately, that does make a hipster like me slightly less likely to just want to jump in and play it. Also, there's a concept of deck that I've wanted to play for a while and finally came across someone who made it good, and now I want to play it. So let's get right to it. The two things I was excited about for Parhelion, right, of them, the one that was most interesting to me was core damage, getting the shot in the arm that it has. I'm very excited to see the possibilities of a good HB core damage deck. And there's a few cards that are absolutely critical in that regard. And they are, in no particular order, Djupstad+, 4 credits. If you score an agenda off the server, you do a core damage. Ontological Dependence, which says your core damage is going to also aid your Fast Advance plan by turning it to a 3/2/2/2/1/2, even a 0/2. And finally, what's his name? Is it Mark or something? Not Mark. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. I'm gonna have to remember names soon. But he's the guy who does core damage if you manage to get to the end of the server and don't have clicks to click through him. We'll find him shortly. Hang on. Big Deal Blue Bifrost Array. Core damage. Only so many of them. If that doesn't work, I'll add S's asset and that'll narrow it down further. Okay, so I guess I won't do that. Live. One of those things. Well, he's a character anyway. We'll figure him out shortly. Anyway, when we find him, and his shtick is that he can do a core damage, Mr. Hendrick. He can do a core damage as an upgrade when you hit the end because he's a sysop. As long as you pay 2 credits, unless the runner has clicks to lose. But if the runner doesn't have clicks to lose, he doesn't do a core damage. He just wipes out all your clicks. Thing is, he's not unique, so you can stick 3 of him in a server and guarantee 2 core damage after that server is run. And there you go. And, yeah, that could be fun, though depending if you know my deck or not, then maybe less exciting, but even so. And, there he is, Mr. Hendrick. Yes, thank you. I need to keep my chat where I can see it at the same time as I'm talking. Normally I have more monitors, so I will remember that for next time I try to stream. That could be fun. If that's what you want to do, I don't mind. I mean, you're going to have the advantage of knowing exactly what shitty deck I've theory crafted. On the other hand, it's all new cards for everyone anyway, so what does it matter? Yeah, pretty much. That totally makes sense. Anywho, backing up, and here's the deal. The thing that's really cool about the state of HB at this point is between this 4/2 that turns into a 3/2, and let's go back to the searching here. Not you. Agendas, I guess. And I'm in my cardless search. Where's my cardless search? Oh, duh, I got it back out here. And agendas. Subtype equals agenda. That work. One of these days, I will actually learn how to code my way through this efficiently, and it will be a lot more fun to watch me go and build a deck. But until then, you guys just have to suffer with me. So we now have many 3/1s and 2/1s even available. We've got Elevigar Bifurcation, which is a 2/1. Fast Advance out of hand, doesn't need anything else fancy. We've got Ontological Dependence turns into a 3-2. We've got Mega Pre-Qualifier, 3-1 on its face. Hyperloop Extension, 3-1 that pays you 3 credits for having the audacity to score or have it stolen. And that's just the big ones off the top of my head. I'm sure there's... Oh, and there's, of course, Vitruvius, Project Vitruvius, a.k.a. Vitruvius, which is another 3-2. Put all these together in a deck, and you probably have enough to just straight up win by fast advance with a mix of all of the click manipulation tools that you get for free by playing HB. Problem. Scoring all of that stuff takes money. And if you're playing the brand new brain damage identity, sorry, I keep saying it, core damage identity, then you don't have a money maker in your ability, which means you don't have an advantage maker. Maybe you slow the runner down and they don't get to wipe you out quickly. They wipe you out slowly, but they still wipe you out. Maybe they take a couple core damage along the way. Maybe that speeds up your fast advance a little. It's still not a lot of tempo. Certainly not a lot for taxing. So I have viewed from a distance that this combination is probably a trap, and I've been less than interested in building it. And every time I've run against somebody who's running Thule with a bunch of 3-1s and 2-1s, my experience has been very similar. I have to play slow, like I'm eating a Jinteki sandwich or a pine cone made of spiky, but it doesn't matter in the end. I eat it slowly, and even if they score 4 agendas, great. They're down 12 credits to get to 4 points. Yeah, there is still Nightmare Archive, and at some point I'm going to have to decide to take -1 or -2 points for it. But who cares? I can handle -1, -2, I just win slowly. That's where the first piece of the solution comes in. Instead of playing Thule, I was assuming you should play SportsMetal, because SportsMetal lets you get money every time you score an agenda, and 2 credits per agenda is really good. But that's where my brain stopped working, because that still didn't seem like enough to make this really sing. Djupstad grid, as I previously referenced, plus SportsMetal, letting me fire off, boom, I scored another core damage, boom, I scored another core damage, feels very powerful. I feel like that can win, somehow. But you need money to get that going, and if you already have money to get that going, why don't you just win the game? So, like, why are you Djupstading when you could instead Sansan, right? And if you Sansan, now you've got all the advantages of the Djupstad, but you're doing it faster and making more money and drawing more cards, and the runner still has to go and trash it. That's just better, right? Enter the solution to this problem. Arella Salvatore. Firstly, Arella is 2 credits to res, not 5. Second, it's an upgrade that stacks. So it masks itself as being Mr. Hendrick. You don't know for sure, so the runner is very cautious about running, last click, etc. Third, when you score the agenda, you instantly get a new installed and advanced card. Now that installed advanced card could be a trap, like Nightmare Archives. It could be a money card, like NGO Front, or it could be my next 2-1, 3-2 agenda. This speeds up my deck considerably, because when I finish scoring one agenda, I'm immediately getting ready to score the other. This one also doesn't ban you from scoring again. So if I, for example, install Never Advance a card, next turn I, install 1 advance a card. Next turn I ice it more. Next turn I double advance it, score it, Arella a new card in, advance it 1 more time, score it, my 2-1 Eligvagar, boom, boom. I just got multiples, and that would be bankrupting me if I was playing a non-SportsMetal deck. But with SportsMetal, it's -1 credit, plus 2 points. Best of all, if I can get this upgrade in the same server as Djupstad, boom, core, and that's really reducing hand size, which is reducing options, which is making my runner more pressured. Maybe I put in a kill shot, maybe I don't, but now that's a stew. Finally, there's the winningest of all, Ontological Dependence. With 1 core damage, this is like any other 3-2 in my deck. With 2 or 3 core damage, baby, you got a stew going. That's going to win. In fact, you could install it off of the Arella trigger, have that 1 advancement on it, score it, chain the next one, and score it for 0 clicks. And every Djupstad trigger makes it even faster. So, this is a non-kill core damage deck. Now, I don't want to take full credit for coming up with all this, because I want to say it was Bell Ryan that I saw playing a similar build before. I will say this, I thought of the first parts of this myself, but the Arella edition didn't see it coming. So then I looked online to see who else is already trying this idea, And shockingly, if you look for deck lists that have sports metal with ontological dependence, only 3 have been published. So clearly this is still a relatively new idea. Let's make something of it. So with all of that said, first things first. Oh, hey, there's a bunch of people watching. Hi, guys. Welcome to the grid. I hope you all are having a wunderbar day. Let's go ahead and make a deck. My decks. Yeah, clearly I don't publish even half the stuff that I come up with. I should probably publish more. Create a deck, please. So, new Corp deck. It's going to be sports metal for sure. And we're going to call it, what? SportsCore FA. Now, you could very well make the argument this is better served not being a fast advanced deck, that we should just make a basic, better off not being a core deck, that we could just make a basic fast advance and it's better. That may be true, but we're starting this way, and then we'll change over if we want to have to later on. We're definitely building for standard, so I don't know why it's offering me JHOW. That's a negatory, please. Vitruvius, let's start with the agenda suite, because I think that's going to end up being pretty self-determined. We definitely want our ontologicals. We definitely want our Vitruvii. Well, we don't necessarily definitely want Vitruvii. I think we want Vitruvii. We definitely want Megapre. Ontological dependence. This is a mandatory as well. What other agendas can you offer me, HB, that I would want? Hyperloop is good money. Elivgar feeds directly into my 2-1 strategy. I don't want 4-2s. What's a 3-1 sensor net activation? Res a Bioroid, ignoring all costs when the turn ends, de-res that Bioroid. I would need to play very big Bioroids to make that worth it, so no, forget it. If there's a res piece to the next ice, you may do a core. No, that's not going to happen. You score, draw 3 cards, skip your next discard. No. Oh, Luminal. Yeah, Luminal is amazing. Definitely want Luminal in this deck. There's no question about it. All right, where are we now? 16. We're at 20 agenda points already. Okay. How do I feel about this spread? I've got 13 agendas. All of them 3-2s except my artificial 3-2s. I kind of want to stuff the hyperloops in here somehow. And I'm tempted to put a false lead in here so that I can trip my opponent up with it. Deny them entry at a time where it matters. Catch them off guard with Hendrick run, etc. But I don't know if that's leading too far into the jank tank. Let's do this. Let's nix a couple of it. How is the Vitruvius? Ontological depends as a blank 3-2 if they take 1 core, and it's a superior if they take more. This is just a worse 3-2. No, it's better because it only matters if they have it. The first one is just a 3-1. I might have to come back to this. I don't like that I haven't included some of the spicier 3-1s that are available in the format. Let's put the Arella in because that's the whole point of this deck. That's a lot of influence to put 3 Arellas, so maybe I go down 1. We'll decide that later. Let's put the Djupstads in because that's what I want to do. Djupstad off the Arella. Let's skip the GFI, please. Biotic Labor is a maybe. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's look at our ice suite. We've got a lot of options. My instinct is to look at ice that does something when it's rezzed, because I get to de-res ice with Elivgar very easily. And I think the Harmonic Suite might be worth experimenting with just because it supports itself so well. You wave, every time wave is rezzed, it becomes more punishing, etc. No, not wave, sorry. You pulse, every time you pulse they lose clicks, so they slow down. You pulse yourself into, you know what's better is Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper just hits hard, but then it gets boated. I don't want to get boated too easily. This doesn't get boated super easily, but it's 6 credits, so we'll throw it in as a one-off. Echo's the one I was thinking of. It's end the run, and every time you re-res it, it's more end the runs. So it needs to be rezzed 3 times to get to 3 point. That's not great. On cell is 3. subs, all of which want to be broken. It's decent. Bloop is amazing. I guess the reason to play Harmonics is that you get to play Bloop. 3 credits, core, and double trash programs. I mean, what's not to love, right? Basically, this comes down to a choice. Am I going to go all in on the new ice? Sorry, the harmonic ice, or am I going to go in on classic ice? And I haven't even started working on my money for this deck, which I'm definitely going to be thinking about. I like Rashida. I like NGO front because I want to have that. I advanced it, but it was nothing effect on my opponent. We've already talked about why Hendrik is in the deck, so let's definitely include him. Should I go 3? I mean, I really want to see him and use him, but maybe I'm overdoing it. I mean, I have 2, 5, and once I add Nightmare Archives, I have too many cards dedicated to damage. Pay for, gain a bunch. 2 is fine. I want the spins. They're always good. Yeah, this is quickly turning into core of an idea and pile of power roped into one, and I'm having a hard time thinking why that's a bad thing. It seems pretty good, at least right now. Do we... We need to have... We have 9 card slots to 10 card slots to put ice in, and money. So let's just put ice and money and be done with it, I guess. What's something I can stick in my remote that's going to make me money constantly? I really want this to be a turn 1, so let's go up 1. I really want them to get this. I'm not as excited about paying a bunch of money for Hendrik charges. Honestly, a 1 of Hendrik just to scare them is probably more valuable than a multiple. And paying 2 credits to deny them a click or 2 doesn't actually hurt that much. So yeah, I'll turn it over to chat. Anybody who knows good taxing a remote ice, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through here. I'm expecting the boat, so I want something that gets rid of that hurts the boat. Click through core with trash to avoid. It's not nice. They can rip up their board state. Meridian looks nice, but I don't actually benefit that much from having a bunch of stuff in there. I only benefit a little. I think for the sake of simplicity, let's try the harmonic suite. We want a couple pulses. Pulse is the one that we want to derez the most. So let's get the most of it. It is also porous, but it makes you some money. I want to see Echo as soon as possible, so I want a lot of it. I'll take a Drafter because it's bad in no deck. I want Bloops because that's how I'm going to guard my servers. I want a singleton of Gatekeeper for all the reasons that I wanted a singleton of Fairchild. And I have how much influence left? 3. What's a good 3 influence? What's something that will kill the runner outright when they've gotten too greedy? That would be the thing to put in here. Wait, there's no money in this deck. There's actually just no money in this deck. Yeah, so anything I think I'm doing here, I'm doing wrong. I need more money options. What's good operation money that I can get either neutral or in faction? I already put the hedge funds in. Big deal is not an option. And so our lockdown, distract the masses. Ooh, I know. What's that Wayland card that gives you a bunch of money for existing? Backdoor something or the other, not backdoor machination. Stock buyback, that's the one. Yeah, this one will almost certainly hit for 5 credit gain right off the bat, if not a lot more, especially if I'm getting a couple nightmares added to their... Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable include. In fact, if I could cut an influence somewhere to add more of it, I should. We'll put a restore in here because a lot of what I do is about making my remote nastier. And now we can start cutting stuff and improving the deck's choices. Do we really need Mr. Hendrick? Let's put it this way. As of now, if I install something in a remote, it's harmless, it's harmless, it's harmful, it's harmless, it's harmful. It's a good 50-50-ish already. Or statistically it's not harmless because I have all these agendas. Fairchild 3.0, Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper only really works to keep them out, and I don't need them to stay out as much as I need them to be too poor to go back in. So I'd rather not Gatekeeper that hard. Wave is super important, but not really. I'd rather draw the ice I need than draw the ability to draw the ice I need. So yeah, forget that. Loop needs Echo Pulse, and I have Echo Pulse already. What else could I fully op? It's only worth 4 credits. It's not really good. Not the way that my deck is running. O2 shortage. Red level. What does red level do for me in this deck? Gain 2 credits for free. Install a non-agenda in the remote at instant speed. It doesn't do much. Subliminal doesn't really do much. They're always going to be running in this. I'm not going to be able to keep them out hard. Sprint doesn't do anything. I'm just going to make really slow money. The only money I'm making, I guess if I look at all of these as 2 credit gains every time I score them, that's good. Let's cut a Vitruvius, maybe 2, but certainly a Vitruvius in favor of 2 Hyperloop extensions. So I have more money just in the agenda suite and less. They steal. How many agendas does it take them to steal to win? They could steal 3 of these and 2 of these and win. That's kind of it. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-pointers and mostly 1-pointers. So they're probably stealing 3 or 4 agendas. What's Avert Power do? You may res a card, lowering versus cost by 3. I shouldn't have anything that actually wants power diverted. Certainly not the cost of paying 2. And as much as I can flip these upside down, I don't want to flip these upside down per se. Is this actually just enough? I mean, I guess I don't have a lot of hard ETR. I've got 3 Pulse, 3 Echo, that's 6. Fairchild 7. Well, I guess I do have a lot of hard ETR. Yeah, I think at this point I might just say run it, lose with it, and then come back and rebuild it is probably the way to go. One thing that is very clearly missing right now is any way of dealing with Clot, which would typically be Mavirus in this situation. Problem is I can't actually meaningfully replay that. I think a singleton of Arc Lockdown to lock down the Clot makes more sense given my deck's attitude. So it might be prudent to keep the Arc Lockdown and kick the Restore. Fast Break isn't really that great for me now that I think about it. I'm going to be installing cards slowly from hand anyway. I don't have a 1-turn go-off combo. So maybe we cut that down to a 1-off. Maybe even get rid of it. Influence-wise, are we capped? Where we have 1 influence to spare. Do I cut the Spin Doctor for a second stock buyback? That seems tempting. Cut an Arella. I could cut an Arella for another Hendrick and keep the Restore so I'm flexible. 2 Hendricks, 2 Arellas. Right now, we're going to go too high on cards, and then we'll come back down when we rebuild the deck. That seems reasonable. It's going to make everything less consistent for now, but let's make sure we've included the stuff that we need to win, and then we can decide what didn't actually contribute as much as I thought it would later. Okay, good enough? Good enough. We have more than we can afford, I think. I think this is version 0.01. This barely qualifies as a version, but what time is it? Yeah, we haven't been on the stream too long. Alrighty. Dominion Prime, if you're serious about your offer, I am happy to play you. If you don't have a deck, don't feel like it, I totally get it. That's fine too. I would recommend playing something that can interact with Fast Advance but doesn't hard stop Fast Advance, since this is clearly a Fast Advance deck, or something that works against or with core damage. 0.01. Yeah, I mean, I made a 54 card Corp deck. Clearly, I have not optimized yet. You know, I could probably cut the Vitruvius, trim back on the. I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, let's set this thing up. Next, streaming. Actually, you know what? Let's make it more clear where I'm streaming. Twitch.tv/xview streaming and corp and create. There we go. All right. Let's see how things go. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he left the stream already. That's just fine. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's make sure to kill the sound effects. Last time I did not do this, and my God, it was way too loud. Way too loud. This time will be better. This time I'll never do anything like that again. Oh, looks like we've got Ite. Howdy. Good luck, have fun. And let's get going. Okay, perfect. Criminals run all over you, get rich, and make you die trying. It's kind of the perfect imperfect matchup. All right, let's see here. Theory crafting a new deck. So I don't expect deck perfection. All right, let's see what we got here. Echo, Pulse, Money, and Mr. Hendrick. This is not ideal, but it's better than a lot of other hands I could start with, and there's no agendas in it yet. I think I'm keeping this. My gut feeling is that this Sable is going to be a Central Assault deck, so I'll want to ice Centrals at some point. Let's do... Drafter on HQ is not a hard ETR, and she's probably going to run some nastiness against my HQ to drain my money at some point, and I'm just going to have to own that. Or I could put the hard ETR there, but I kind of want the ETR on my remote, but I also want my ETR where she'll run... I hate this. Let's go Pulse on HQ. No. Drafter on HQ. She's not going to run it often enough to matter. And I want it to trigger at some point. So yeah, we'll go Drafter on HQ. Echo on the remote. We want the Echo to be run early. So we're going to have to put a bait in there to make them run it. And then R&D. And what she doesn't know is we have no intention of resing any of this ice this turn. But if she does run this turn against the Pulse, I get a credit back. Maybe it's with it. Pulse on R&D was a bad call. It probably belongs here instead. Well, we've got Code Gate Breaker down early, so maybe we don't put Code Gates up. What's the mark? R&D? Yeah, probably don't R&D. Loses a click, goes down to 1 click, breaks it for 2 credits. That's fine. What's this? Now we see that there's an intent of running HQ often, so good. We have a nice taxing ice in the way. Oh, we got the bloop. Things are looking up a little. Draw install advance, install advance advance. I think install advance advance and still float enough money to res this early is key. Now we look like an idiot who has left themselves totally vulnerable to a remote attack, to any kind of trick to get in. Let's see what they do about it. Maybe they charge us, maybe they don't. They do have a click left, but I don't have anything that I want to draft or trigger, so we make it look like we're thinking about it, thinking really hard, and then continue to movement. No further actions. If they get Mr. Hendrick, we're sad, but they don't, so we're not sad. Ouchies. NGO front sounds fun. Too obvious? Maybe too obvious. This is interesting. If they test run the remote, nothing worth locking down in archives. Draw and Hendrick. Yeah, I don't need money yet, actually. Draw. But I do need to install a Rashida, so there's no point bluffing this out any longer. Take our money and put this on the remote. Now we have an excuse to trigger Drafter. We would get this back, which is still something. Mark is HQ, so there's no way that they're not running HQ. There it is. So the question is, where do we want to go with this? Do we let them in? Yeah, I think we res it. We're getting full value. We're getting our NGO back. And we're installing something. So we'll install Hendrick in the remote. They're getting their panweave effect, which sucks, but no harm really done. No true harm done. And now they see the Arc Lockdown. Perfect. So they may not be on recursion. Arc Lockdown is probably dead in this matchup. But until I know, I don't know. So let's find out. They did manage to hit double Bravado and Dirty Laundry in the first 3 cards. So, hard lesson that I guess you got to relearn. Against criminals, you always put ETRs on HQ. Howdy. Welcome to the channel. And thank you so much for stopping in until the end, Veronica. Ah, Christ, that's what you're always afraid of, isn't it? What's the play here? They have a click left, but I have a Rashida, so that's okay. Go ahead. I'll fire Oma and Broken Subroutines, including getting a bloop out somewhere. I guess the bloop can go over HQ, since clearly that's the sort of they want to run the most. I will eventually want to put it on the remote, but if I leave HQ open, I'll never be able to save up any money. So yeah. And now they can run the remote for free is the real concern. So it'll depend on if they figure that out or not. Yeah, there's nothing to add to HQ, obviously. Do I put out the NGO front that they can't stop? Yeah, that's what we do. We'll put out the NGO front on a new remote. If they want to go after the NGO front, which they know is an NGO front, they can. If not, I get all my money back. So either I get Rashida money or I get NGO money. Your choice. Where are you running? Very smart. That's the right place to go. This does pretty much destroy my game plan, but I hate being this far behind. Let's advance. Credit advance. Seems right. And then enter. We've offloaded some of our money. They can still panweave it back eventually, but we're basically begging them to come into HQ again. They're marked HQ, so they really should. And as soon as they have their killer out, I didn't commit to a bloop, so that's good. And I guess I get a free turn. Yay! Okay, they're pretty deep into their deck without actually having hurt us. So what's next? Well, more than anything, we need tempo. We need something to get in the way of this recurrent running in HQ. We are so far away from getting our Djupstad combo Arella off that it's funny, and we don't have any core damage to show for our game plan yet. We're very poor, as is the bottom line here. But this server is solid. They're showing no breaker. I should be jamming. So do we just put a jammy and go for it? I mean, kinda. Even if they steal it, that's just gas for me, because I'm sports metal. Install advance. Install an advance. I'm floating enough money to res everything. I can't advance it unless I crack this. If I crack this, I don't want to advance it yet. I do want the token when I advance it. Maybe I just put the Fairchild 3 down after all. We'll definitely take the money. With all the card draw they've done, they almost certainly are ready to drain my money again. Let's drop this down on the remote or on HQ. If it's on HQ, they can break it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 credits. Just not a good trade. If it's on the remote, they're not running the remote. They can't get into the remote. It doesn't need to be on the remote yet. Yeah, that's true. Okay, we'll put it here. If they have a nasty event that I want to stop, I'll res it. If they don't have a nasty event that I want to stop, unless they have the clicks to click through it problem, we should be fine. Should be fine. Do we shuffle back with Spin Doctor if they go after it? Maybe. I could put the Hendrick back potentially. But I'm not necessarily eager to. Ooh. 3 leaves me 2 poor to res the Fairchild. But at that point, I kind of want them coming in. Them being down a click right now doesn't hurt me that much. They can break it, so just continue. That's fine. I don't mind giving you a single access on your mark. Like, literally at this stage, I don't even mind you stealing some. That might have been the Arella. They took quite a while reading it. Sure, gamble, mutual favor. Now they get their Sentry Breaker out. Oh, even worse. They get the Turtle. Well, all of my ice is breakable by Turtle, right? Yes, yes, and my god, yes. So I'm porous everywhere right now. So they really are just going for central lockdown as their core philosophy. And I'm doing nothing to force the board game to the remote, which is where I want it to be. It was the Arella as predicted. So we go money, install Arella advance. I wish, but it can't be. It has to be triple advance score or money install bloop. But I can't res the bloop, and they probably don't know that I can't res the bloop, but they should. There's no point restoring anything. Money. Draw another card. Jeez, they're all coming in the wrong order. Okay. I will happily shuffle back. Actually, yeah, that was a mistake because they're going to get a mark on archives eventually. I should have put the Nightmare archives in. Next time. For now, they'll run archives. I'll shuffle those back. That's fine. Install Arella, double advance is bad. Triple advance is bad. There's literally no correct options here. So where am I going with this? Am I piloting it badly? Am I just getting overly criminaled and no matter what I did, I was going to have a bad game here? This Amakwa needs to be at strength 0 to get through this, so that's really not this. So these servers are all completely porous at this point. Djupstad install, Horella install. I forgot to put the Managarm in this deck, which I had intended to do. Now, I obviously can't afford any of that, but you know what? He doesn't know that I don't know that he doesn't know that I can't afford all of that. So he has to be nervous about a bloop. He loses the game on a bloop. So if I'm bold, I just rush through here and pray for the best. I can actually afford to res and score as long as I don't... Ooh, so tempting. Do I go for it? This turns the bloop on, but it kills my score plan. I can only go to 7. Oh, it's so tempting. Is it his mark? It is his mark. There's no way he doesn't pay to break this. So I either give him a free R&D run, and he still has 2 clicks, and he can definitely get in here. Or I accept... No. I think we do it. I think we have to assume that he is not going to... We have to assume that he is not going to run my remote. If he does run my remote, I keep him out with a bloop, or I punish him with a bloop. If he does run my remote, then I'm very happy that I have a bloop that connects. So yeah, that'll be good enough for now. Now, if he mutual favors out his Sentry Breaker, that is a real coup de main, and I can do nothing about that. But if I let him in here, get the free click, all because I'm hoping he doesn't run here, then he does run here, gets through for nothing, disassembles the server, that's not good for me at all. 9 credit tax is quite significant, so maybe, just maybe, he does a disassemble the whole server. Hey there, stand viewer. It's good to see you. I'm assuming that you're joining me from Android Netrunner. Sorry, from Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and you're new to Android Netrunner. So this game, that's a bad choice. I'm so poor. This game, the goal of the game is for me to score agendas, or for him to steal agendas. So this 3 advanced 2-point card is an agenda. If I were to score it, I would have 2 points out of the 7 I need to win the whole game. You know what I should do? I should just take a really slow turn and just click for credits. This server is secure. It's going to be secure for a little longer. If he comes here with another credit draining strat, he can do that. And that gets me the Djupstad I want. Let's draw a card. And let's gain another credit. Now I can afford to res this, res Djupstad, and Project Vitruvius. It is a sound plan. Okay, so this runner has a set of cards that, much like Magic the Gathering, you build your own deck. But unlike Magic the Gathering, the goal of this deck is to... these 2 decks are asymmetrical. The cards available to him and the cards available to me are completely different. Our goals are different. His goal is to break past all the defensive barriers I have up, get into my servers, access the cards from my deck, which he is attempting to do now with this run, and steal certain specific cards, or trash other ones to ruin my strategy, plan, etc. My goal is to score those same cards that are in my deck, the agendas. Oh, why is he going after archives? Oh, because he's building his Amakwa high enough to take out a bloop. I might have to purge in a turn. Now it's high enough to take out a bloop. Man, that's not good for me. But he didn't go for it. He ran HQ, which is not his mark. Come on in, buddy. The water is great. You're going to deprive me of a credit, which makes me just poor enough to be sad, but not poor enough to suffer. Hit my Nightmare Archive. Please hit my Nightmare Archive. I'm begging you, hit my Nightmare Archive. I tell you what, guys, if there's interest, I really want to do a teaching stream one day where I get someone who hasn't played Netrunner but is familiar with the conventions of card games, and we just stay on stream until we've gone through a full game, and then later on tell other people, like, hey, if you want to see what it looks like and how to get started, this is how you do. I would thoroughly enjoy that. It's been a while since I taught Netrunner, but I love teaching Netrunner. Oh my god, I'm gonna... This costs 5 to play and gets me to 9 credits. If I do it now, I will have money. However, I will delay my Wombo combo play even longer. If I use my Wombo combo play, I think I have to do this now. Any longer I wait, it's just getting silly. We're going to drop Nightmare Archives in the archives. He has clearly shown that he will run archives every couple turns, which means eventually he's going to run here and decide to take -1 points, and that's fine with me. He's at 0 points and 1 core damage. Technically, I'm not losing. It just feels like I'm losing because he's bullying me so hard. Anyway, yeah, so because I scored this 3 advanced 2-pointer, I have 2 points. Now, my deck has a required number of cards it has to include that are agendas, or rather a required number of points worth of agendas to include. So I can't just go with no agendas and be like, oh, hey, good luck winning. I'm never going to give you anything. On the flip side, his deck isn't required to include any particular tool. He's allowed to put these icebreakers that interact with my ice to get through or not. I don't have to include ice. But again, it'd be a very odd deck that manages to win with no ice. Has been done before, but it's kind of like playing Magic the Gathering with no creatures. You probably want some creatures, even in a deck that isn't really in on creatures. You probably want some creatures. Man, losing 5 credits way back when to this diversion of funds really set me back. Well, he saw the bloop, so he understands the game plan now. And I really need to get that Purgeon eventually. Does this make any sense to put up? I can't even if I want to. I have no money. He absolutely trashes everything here. There's no reason not to when you have 21 credits. You could consider not doing it since I don't have the 2 credits to res it, but why would you? So where is this deck going right and where is it going wrong right now? There's no pain here for him. I haven't been able to res much ice. Djupstad was expensive. I think where it's going wrong is I don't have enough agendas. If I was constantly getting agendas stolen from me, thinking, if he comes in here, I'll just res the 2-coster and then deny him the Panweave. So that's a good plan. If he comes in here, he has to pay 5 to 7 credits to sack the server. It's a good plan. And I get to draw from free cards. Yeah, I think if I had more 3/1s, he would be stealing more of them. He would be on 4 points by now, and I would be very okay with that. I don't need to do this. I don't need to worry about that. So he pays 2, gains 1. He can't gain or lose credits on approach, and there's nothing worth stealing in my hand, so that's fine. But he is getting Paragon value. And more importantly, he's building dig counters for his ultra big R&D digs. But I want him to steal 3 agendas and give me 6 credits right now. I want that very badly. He knows he can get in. Oh, wait, I meant to res this. Let's just do that real quick. Am I seriously just clicking for 3 credits next turn and discarding most stuff? I mean, what do I want for my archives? 2 Rashidas that I can't afford, a hedge fund that I literally have had in my hand I can't afford. Oh, good. He left the Arella for me. So do we drop the Luminal? He knows we can't score it, but he knows that I know that he knows that he can't. The problem is he can deny me 2 credits a turn just by running here for a profit. That is bonkers value. And these are all 2 advances. I don't have a choice. I actually am just too locked down. Fast break is never going to be triggered this game, and arc lockdown is not worth keeping. I could pitch an agenda, but I kind of don't want to. I want him to steal them out of my hand so that I keep having some in hand. I remember a comedy about that. The problem is you attacked me wrong. You were supposed to keep your arm completely straight. Yeah, I guess you could say that, but no, it's more that I wasn't actually worrying about how my opponent was going to counter me. I was more fixated just on my own plan. Issue is that I don't have enough 3/1s in my deck to guarantee that they're all getting stolen, which is what I want. But no, I also will admit that the pan weave is unexpected and very painful to be leeched. What I wouldn't... that's the wrong one. What I wouldn't give to have a resed bloop on HQ. Even a 3 credit trash tax every turn would be enough. Right now he's running for a profit. Should I just put the bloop on HQ and just take my losses? Credit, hedge fund. No, it's too not fair. It's just not fair. I have nothing I can do to offload the credits. He's absolutely going to break it. It's too painful. And he's not running out of gas either. He's got 20 cards left, and I got nothing. And he's going to get, 4 cards off of R&D? Well, at least this way I get some money, hopefully. Oh, yes, a Nightmare Archives. Thank God. You know, if you could draw me into that Wayland card that gives me 6 credits for 1 click, that'd be nice. 9 credits for 1 click? Maybe? That NGO front? I could keep the NGO front? No? Okay. Nothing. Just asking. 3 credits and pass. Put this in the remote. Put this in the remote is interesting. Put this in the remote is very interesting. And then take 2 credits. That way, if he tries to run it, I bloop him. And if he doesn't try to run it, I don't bloop him. But there's no point blooping him in this situation. I need to purge before I can bloop, and I can't possibly purge him because he'll just get 4 more counters in 1 turn. Even if I do purge him, he gets in with Bugalter. No, I think the correct thing is that he needs to be out of money for this to work. And his money, believe it or not, is starting to slow down. I don't want to say dry up completely, but it is slowing down a little. I'm going to get that Wayland card. I have 2 copies out of 26 cards, and that's what's going to get me back in the game financially. Until then, I do want to purge on a slow turn. This is a slow turn. I can afford to purge here. The alternative would be clicking for 2 credits, which just gives him a whole new turn to deny me money. So let's purge here. Let's purge. We get rid of the Tapworm, and we make it look like we're going for a play, which we're not. But he also now has to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 credits to get back 1, 2, 3, 4 credits if he wants to come into HQ. So it's a little bit more taxing. We'll see what he does. We have 2 or 3 Elevagao bifurcations. We've got 3 Mega Prees. Eventually, he's going to mark Archives, run it, and take an L, and that's going to be good. He wants to run Archives probably at least once this turn to get... Nope, he's smart. He's going straight for the 1 Surfer. And he should end up net 0, right? After the Paragon triggers. And I should end up at 1 credit exactly, and maybe he steals the Vitruvius. Losing the Luminal isn't fun, but it's not the end of the world. Hey, he got it. Sweet. Because that doesn't trigger his Amakwa. 2 credits is good here. Credit, hedge fund, and I finally have money to res the Fairchild. I probably should have found the time to res Fairchild much earlier this game. Not having done so set me back a lot. So, let's review what we've learned. Before trying to go for a remote play against a criminal when you don't have a particularly strong economic opening, start by building your centrals. If I had, instead of putting Drafter here, put Echo or something, and then Drafter on top of it, if I had clicked up money and made sure I had enough, I probably could have had him slowed significantly from his current plays, and that purge would have locked him out. Right now, he knows he can get in pretty much anywhere for free, but 9 credits, he's not going to run this server. Tremolo, 3 credits, break up to 2, cost 1 less for each cybernetic. Wait, is that free? No, he only has 2 cybernetics, so that's 1 credit for 2. Man, that just invalidates my Echo. Okay, well, he's got a full rig. He doesn't need Amakwa counters more or less at all at this stage. Credit, hedge fund is good. I think that's what we do. Credit, hedge fund. If I can get him to faceplant into a bloop, my game is quite saved. If he runs HQ first click, I can't do much about it. He clicks through the Fairchild, pays through the Drafter. He can't afford to pay through the Drafter. He's actually too poor. How the hell did he become too poor? Oh, he installed a Tremolo. But he has a full rig, which means I'm never keeping him out. But I don't need to keep him out. I just need to fast advance. Yeah, go ahead. You are going to draw me into my money card. That's what I need right now. And then... Oh, okay, never mind. He's clicking first. That's actually really good for me that he's clicking first. He's got 3 spare credits floating. I need to remember that. Now he has exactly 3... Oh, he can't trash anything because he didn't crack it. Oh, he got 1 credit. Okay, that's fine. He can trash my Rashidas then. He still is just going to lock down HQ and R&D, which means I'm never going to draw into more agendas without... Or traps, for that matter. Do I actually draw for cards here? If I draw for cards here, he cannot get in easily. He can get in 1 more time, but he can't multi-access. I would be putting a fresh card on top, and I definitely won't draw an agenda. Yeah, I think I go for the cards here. How the hell did I draw an agenda? Oh, because he stole 1. Okay, my Mega Prees are online. The Nightmare Archives is locked and loaded. It's time to start putting bloops down on major servers and just winning slowly. I think Hendrik goes only on a remote or anywhere. Anywhere, good. So we put Hendrik on HQ for the day he clicks through my Fairchild. We put bloop on R&D and we just take money. Okay, so we put... Did he ever run the archive one? No? Okay. So we put Elivigao on the remote. We put... That's now a double advance score. Flip this one back score. And it's a May on the D-Res, so that's good. We put bloop here, and then I have 3, 6. I'm very eager to bloop you, and I can do it pretty nastily. On R&D, I'm letting him into HQ at that point. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just take a credit. I don't want to put Hendrik on HQ quite yet. I would rather let him into HQ. If he double clicks to use the Scythe equivalent, I'll Fairchild him, and that will be very devastating. 2 advanced 1-pointer is not going to win him the game. Ooh, this has been a slog, but finally my agendas are starting to come through. I never saw my major money card yet, And I definitely only, I only put one stock buyback in the deck. I thought I had two. Well, stock buyback is a must. Clearly it's the money card I'm waiting for this whole game. He's played Scarring. Let's count influence for him at this point, because he's played some weird cards that way. 2, 3, 4. Not much else, and now he's slowly getting his money up. Okay. Hyperloop. That's what I was looking for. Let's double advance this, score, derez nothing, get a free install off the Hyperloop extension, all with an advancement counter. I think that's reasonable. Score. SportsMetal, 2 credits. End of the go, done. And do I put the Hyperloop because I want to get money no matter what? Or do I put the Hendrick as a bluff? It doesn't have to be a bluff, actually. If he goes in there, it's going to cost him at least a little bit of time to get set up. I can afford to res the whole server. And I get my second core, which makes ontological much more valid. Or 3, 5, 6, 7 to advance. This could also go on another server. This could go on HQ. He's going to run HQ. I'm going to want to res it. I'm also going to want to res the bloop. That's 9. 1 credit doesn't matter if they're... No, if I have 10 credits, then I can credit, advance. No, I'm going to be poor no matter what. I guess I have to let him into HQ with anything short of a siphon. If he's got a siphon and I let him into HQ, I can still... No, then I get this. Then all I need to do is res this and I'm golden. So we can afford a Hendrick. So where is he going to try and win? He's going to try and win on R&D HQ, right? He's not going to run R&D until it's game winning. But HQ, I might catch him off guard. So we'll put that in HQ. He'll know exactly what it is, obviously. I mean, what else could it be? So this is a online representation of an actual card game. When you say edit in your money, I'm not sure what you mean exactly. Like, can I just change the number displayed? Sure. But, I mean, I'm playing against another human being, so I wouldn't, even if I could. Are you talking about, like, changing my deck around? I can change my deck between games easily. I'm planning to. In fact, before we started this game, I actually built this deck here. In terms of Jinteki.net being an alpha or release or what have you, it's a fan-made project as opposed to something the company has officially released. So it's kind of, I guess you could say, eternally going to be in beta. It's never going to be done. We're just going to keep seeing it get better day by day. Oh, please, please don't run. Please, anything but running. Anything but running. He's crappy DMing. He went last click? Am I just good here? Am I just good here? Hang on. If I res this, how does he break it? He sacks this for 3 crap. Oh, he has prevent core damage. If he has prevent core damage, can he afford it? He's going to pay 1, 2... Hang on. Thinking. So there's a 1 in 4 chance that I lose the game outright because of Elfgar. There's no helping that. Oh, no, I don't lose outright. I go to 6. That's fine. I really hope he doesn't hit that. I'm going to assume he won't hit that. If I res this for 6, he can break it. Yeah, he cracks no free lunch, goes to 3 and 9 credits, raises this bad boy to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breaks for 1, 2, 3. So that's 7 credits, and now he has 2 credits left, and he jacks out. That's actually a good play because it's last click. If he does that, I still have enough to Hendrick him. He still might hit Nightmare. Yeah, let's do it. I cried for half the game about not having anything resed here. Why was that 7? Why did that cost 7? Why did that cost 7? What does he have that makes my ice more expensive to res? Why did that cost 7? It's not his identity. Caldera is just a damage reduction. Ah, very interesting. I completely missed that. So let's see what he does here. The good news is I have exactly enough money to still score this. So if I let the Hendrik not fire, then I can still score out if he plows through. But I don't know that he's going to plow through here. I think that I might just stop him and end the run. So let's see. Now he's mapping himself. He can probably break all of this, continue. But if he does that, he's letting me have my drafter, because he's not going to be able to raise and break the drafter. So he's probably going to jack out after this is done. That's what I hope he does. Yep, that's the one. Ah, okay, yes, now I understand. So, like any card game, they want the players to have the agency to actually do whatever they want. Drag cards from the trash, add more clicks by hand, whatever, right? Since things often go wrong, or players mess stuff up, or they start a run on the wrong server because they misclicked and their opponent's like, no problem, take it back. It's helpful to have direct control. So yeah, I can manipulate my numbers however I like. And there have been times where that was absolutely wonderful for saving a game. There's also an undo click option, which is just fantastic. Can't tell you how many times that comes up. But in practice, yeah, that you use that to help the game keep going. Ooh, I don't think he does. Oh, he does. It looks like you do. That is quite bad for me. I really thought I got to, but that's fine. He's got plenty of junk to trash. He can trash his Amakwa safely here. He can trash the Class Act without much difficulty. Anything else he probably doesn't want to trash just yet. And either way, I'm probably safe from him coming in. If he trashes Caldera, I'll be very happy. He probably sacks no... So let's review. Sack no free lunch, get to 9 credits. Pay 1, 2, 3, 4 to get up to snuff. Pay 1, 2, 3 to break it fully. You're down to 2 credits. If he chooses to let everything fire except the last subroutine... See, but again, that implies that he wants to get in. I don't think he wants to get in. I think he's just going to let all of them fire, and it's going to be up to me if I let him in or not. Oh, never mind. He's paying. Ugh, thank God he's poor. So he's going to full break. Is he going to let the first 2 fire? He's just going to get in. Yes. All right, fire unbroken subs. So he's going to trash 2 cards. Doesn't matter which ones. I'll be happy either way. Or pay 3 credits. Now he has exactly enough to break the drafter, which is unfortunate. And we've already determined that if he breaks drafter, he ends up money even. So there's that. Oh, hello, Silent Arbiter. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to the game. Man, I am learning so much just from playing. Again, rather than studying for days and days how this game works, it's nice to just play it out. So as predicted, he gets rid of the Amakwa. He gets rid of the whatchamajigger lady. Continue to encounter ice. So now he's going to put it on me. I think that when he gets in, he'll be too poor to trigger Caldera. No, he'll have just enough to prevent the core damage. So I'll have to let it happen. My only hope here is that Nightmare Archives lands. I'm definitely giving him a little go. Oh, he still has a click? I didn't know he still had a click. Oh, if I knew he still had a click, I would have played differently. Oh, no, he brought me down to 1 credit. Oh, man, I did not think of these. Oh, and he gets Elevagao. No, we're not using that. He's good. He's good. But if he does run this server, it might just be game over now, because I can't afford to go down to... Man, there was such a good odds. But no, if he runs this server, I need to be able to res both of these, and I can only afford to res 1. And he can afford to break this. He has the barrier breaker, and it only costs a credit. So if he runs the server, I straight up lose. But does he know that? Yeah, he knew his plan. Very much so. The only issue is he doesn't know that this could be a bluff. And if it's a Nightmare Archives I put there, I'm very happy right now. I just... Man, that's so unfortunate. I took the risk, though. I knew jolly well there was a chance of him doing that. I could have not res this, and oh, I guess he knew the risks too. So, advance, score. Hyperloop first. Okay, so we're on 4 credits. If I sports metal for cards, find an agenda, flip the agenda into here, how bad am I? I'm not bad. I'm pretty good, actually, if I do that. But if I do that and I don't find a good agenda, how bad is that? Let's say I put the agenda here. I can res the bloop. Even if he subtracts 1 credit, I can res the bloop. I only need a couple more credits and I don't have them. So yeah, I can't afford to do it. So we're gonna sports metal for money, and we're going to install a bluff. What is the right bluff? The right bluff is this, because he's probably still running HQ after this. And when he runs HQ, I want him to find the Nightmare really badly. So we put, can we put this in the remote? Unresed? I think you're allowed to, even though it's unique, as long as it's not resed. Take money and end my turn. There we go. So now we've got everything set up for the, it looks like we're going to score out, but really it's just a double. He goes in there, that's all well and good. I don't think he goes in there. He would have run it last turn if he was going to score a 1 advanced in a remote. And this is too painful considering he has no money, and he knows he has no money. So yeah, he's not going to do it. He's going to run Archives eventually. Let's hope he goes to -1. If I find my ontological dependencies, this game is far from over. I just need 1 or 2 FAs and I'm done. So we might get there. We might get there yet. But this we need a new nastiness on the remote since he knows Bloop is in the water. And Bloop is very good. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 credits to break while allowing a core damage. After which I then res the echo afterwards, and 7, 8, boom. Very painful. Very painful. And then I can flip between bloops, res this one when he runs this, res this one when he runs this. 8 credits to run the server once means he's only going to get 1, maybe 2 shots at it. But he's never going to take a core damage with Caldera in play. No siree. He's just going to pay 3 credits. So I should probably not keep this here then. I should probably pitch it rather than just letting it be a 3 credit tax that doesn't improve my tempo. He's debating it. Oh, okay. Yeah, he knew he didn't have the class act. Excellent question. So there's no such thing as hit points in Android Netrunner. There's no life bar. You're not trying to kill your opponent. But a runner jacked into the internet and making all these attacks against my servers puts himself at all kinds of risk. So this game has 3 kinds of damage. Net damage typically is dealt by subroutines interacting with runs and the like on these ice, and it causes you to take a random discard from your hand. Meat damage is the same. Core damage, on the other hand, is a permanent hand size reduction as well as a random discard from your hand. So for example, if my opponent hits this card, it's a trap, and it reads when they access it, they may either add it to their score area as a -1 pointer, and if they don't, they take 1 core damage, and this asset is removed from the game. So it can't hit them many, many times, but if it does hit them, that's what's going to happen, and it's going to suck. I have a few face downs in Archives. I really want to score the ontological, but I don't want to be obvious about it. I really wish I had a Managarm. Managarm would make this right now. And honestly, I meant to have one. I just forgot to put it in. Djupstad is interesting. If I put Djupstad, I telegraph an agenda. But he has the counter, so I shouldn't care too much. Let me draw once. Ugh, that's really bad. That's just another weakness that cost me the game. Let's install the one that isn't blank. And we advance it. I mean, it's a telegraph, like I said, but I can res this whole server, and eventually it's going to come down to resing this whole server, and he can even tax me a credit, and I can still potentially fire this. So now he can decide whether that's an NGO front or not, and I'll be very happy. So anyway, sorry, where was I about core size? Yeah, so if your hand size is 5 and you have 3 core damage, at the end of your turn, you will discard down to 2 cards, right? If your hand size is 0 because you've taken 5 core damage, at the end of your turn, you discard down to 0. Net damage, meat damage, and core damage requires the damage taken from hand. If you cannot take the damage required, if the hand size of the runner is ever forced below 0, they lose the game. So if you're discarding down to -1 cards in hand, for example, that's a game loss. Are we good? Did we do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to the right hand size. And then it was the right cost. And then 1, 2 to break, get back a credit. And then he breaks this for 1. I need to be able to res 2 bloops. I don't think I have a choice. I res the bloop. And we de-res this, that's fine. And he knew that was a possibility, so he's not going to be too shocked. And he's going to draw 2 cards from here, and it might be game loss for me. Or I might finally get my gain 3 credits per agenda and get like a bazillion credits. All right, that's fine. Continue to movement. Is this his mark? It is his mark. So he's going to go to 3 clicks. If I res this for 4 credits, he has to break it. He breaks it for 1, 2, going to 0 credits. He gains no credits for the run. No, he gains 1 credit for the run. And I still have 2 credits to res this. So he can still get in here and win the game. So that's a bad play. I need to save enough money to rebloop him. Yeah, no res. No further actions. You're in. You have plenty of clicks, and you might just win the game outright here because there's no Nightmare Archives left. You're looking at new cards. You're probably triggering this. You are. Good. But I might get lucky. My R&D has not been as bulletproof as I wanted this game. We'll see. He got the NGO front. That's bad. He can count NGO fronts and see that all of them are out of the game, which means he knows that this is probably an agenda or a trap. And why would it be a core damage trap? It's going to be an agenda. I, however, can res both of these. So if he doesn't respect the bloop and runs remote, I kill him. So we're safe. I go broke, but he would have no breakers. And that's a good spot for me. I would definitely kill these 2. That would fully protect R&D and partially protect my remote. So, once again, do your thing, buddy. You got all the clicks. How much fast money does he have left? All the bravados are gone. 2 out of 3 of the dirty laundries are done. 3 of the sure gambles are done. So he's used most of his fast money. He almost certainly has another diversion, but there's no way that he diverts this without a lot of money up front. I'm not getting a Djupstad as much as I wish I was. I'm going to have to accept 3-2 advance off the ontologics. But that's probably okay. I can probably deal with that. What would be interesting is to 4 advance Vitruvius, score it, use the counter to pull. No, I can't do that all in one turn. Is there any point? Oh, please, 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 please let it be. 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 Whispered words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Yes! We got a bloop. Okay, so he can Caldera away the core damage if he's afraid of Ontologic, which he was, which he probably shouldn't have been, but he was. We can smash the Sentry Breaker for future blooping. We can smash the Codegate Breaker. What am I more afraid of? I actually don't need him to get blown. I just need to keep him out now. He can't get in here without a Codegate Breaker easily. He's not getting in here without his Barrier Breaker. And I'm going to get 2 program trashes. So 1, 2. All right, continue to movement. Res. That's good enough. That'll do, pig. That'll do. And now I have 1 credit. So credit is pretty much the name of the game. Or credit advance is probably better. I could go credit to go to 4. I could go advance, credit, advance, and leave this server vulnerable for 1 more turn. And I'm kind of leaning in that direction. Yeah, let's do that. Advance. Credit. Advance. Score. Sports Metal, we need the 2 credits, so we'll take those. And let's drop the Ontologic in the remote, because he can't get in with anything I can see. He might have a spare Amakwa, but he would need to get it up to counter size, and that'll take a while. And this is a double advanced score at this point, so I win the game, actually. Unless he gets into R&D and wins now, or has an inside job and a trick to get through here, I win now. So I'm really depending on the bulletproof nature of my R&D, which isn't actually as unthinkable as you might think, because he did just look 2 cards deep, so this is theoretically a card he already saw, I think. Nope, I was wrong. GG! The win was in S1, and you somehow managed to never run my archives after I put the nightmare there. A 3-2, yep. Quite possibly an Amakwa off of a Simmel chip could do, but not sure what else you could in this spot. And yeah, it's yours for the taking at that point. What we're saying here is that he does have the ability to basically eat whatever this does to him, get here, trash his last Sentry Breaker, pull his Barrier Breaker, break this barrier, get in. He would need 1 credit, and he can definitely make that much this turn. So he'd be good. But yeah, I don't hate this deck. But let me show what I was looking for. To this guy. This is what I was waiting for that never came. Oh well. GG. All right, so where are we at? Well, firstly, that game took way longer than I had intended to spend today, and definitely showed why this is a version 0.01 of the deck rather than a final version or anything. I don't know how I feel about Fool, honestly. 1 core is enough. 2 is gravy. And sports money is just so much better tempo-wise. Anyways, GG. So let's review. Let's leave this game here and go back to our deck builder and let's review. Up front, I can say that I never liked having Vitruvius in this game. Not once did I feel like, yay, I have a Vitruvius. This is going to help my game plan. Hyperloop, on the other hand, brought me back from extinction at one point, so I really did like that. If we cut Vitruvii, add a Hyperloop, cut multiple Vitruviuses, and put in a false lead or whatever, just some 3-1. Now what we've done is gotten this to a point where my opponent is going to have to steal the numerous agendas. I am at my best when I'm railing off the agendas, and if that isn't happening, I'm not at my best. Nightmare Archives did do work, but it didn't do a lot of work, which is fine. I probably don't need lots of them. I just need them to hit, and that's it. I don't need lots of hits, just a couple hits. Arc Lockdown I liked. I know I didn't use it, but I liked having it. Fast Break is useless. At no point would I have been happy to install 4 cards and thought that's a lot of value. Stock Buyback is compulsory. If I can go to 3 of, I would be happier. Aurella is nice, but I don't need tons of her. 2 is good. I can add more restores if I want more of her. Djupstad is expensive, and using it to core my opponent set me back. But it was also the only way I scored a core this entire game, so I don't want to get rid of it. And once again, we have 54 cards. We need to go down to 49 in order to get down to the lowest number of cards possible for consistency purposes, which is must now that we know that stock buyback is the win. Bloop is god tier. Drafter is nice. It doesn't hurt. Pulse, Echo, Fairchild. These were all okay. I did not feel the love tonight playing Echo and Pulse. I feel like I used them to make Bloop better, to make Bloop work. Nothing else. Echo, every time it's rezzed and re-rezzed gets better. Let's do this. Are we out of influence? Yeah, we're completely out of influence. Okay, so HB, neutral, ice. What is the nastiest, taxingest, bestest, cheapest ice I can afford? Hagen. Big ass barrier, not very taxing. Boat gets through it the first time, and whatever their rig is gets through it after that. So, no go. Oh, and let's rename this version 0.2 because a version of this was play tested to reach this position. Nadja, no. Nerine, no. Night Dancer. Ooh, interesting. Gives me clicks, costs them clicks, not optional. 4 strength code gatebreak. Once rezzed, it stops being good. Three subs. I really like 3 subs, period. Anything with 3 subs makes me go home because boat. Is white space good enough? I really want my remote to be taxing more than I want it to be impenetrable. I did not feel like I had too much ice, so that's good. I did feel like I had too little money, so more of that's good. I need this. This is a good option. This is a good option. They didn't play out this game, but they were good options to have, and they did slow my opponent. This is slow, but it's a good bluff. Maybe this is a 54 card deck. Like, I mean, honestly, in order to accommodate 15 agendas, how do you go down to 49 cards? I'll tell you how, by being good at this game. Be quiet. No, you be quiet. No, you be quiet. Fine, I'll be quiet. By realizing that every one of these is a 2 credit game. So, assuming that they do 5 and I do 5, that's like 20 credits. So that's good. Nightmare Archives is good. Rashida is not actually as important. Remember, they are getting into the remote. They're not failing to get into the remote. I'm baiting runs on the remote, but they're going to succeed in those baits. So what if I cut her completely? I am, after all, leaning into stock buyback for money. And no matter what I draw, I'm going to use it to get cards and money with my ID ability. That's good, actually. Arc Lockdown is tech against Clot. Clot, which I didn't face, but if I had faced, I'd be very happy I had it. But is Clot really that big of a game killer for me? I mean, I didn't fast advance anything this entire game. Every single agenda I scored was never advance. And I don't have any fast advanced techniques. I don't have biotic or anything. Let's get brave and see if we can win without it. No, keep it and lock out somebody's breaker, somebody's paperclip, something. But everybody who does that also has another way to get in, like boat. So maybe not. Restore is another one that looks good on paper, and I should keep it. It gives me Djupstad, Orella, or Hendrik, and all of those are good. Or Spin Doctor. Like literally all of those are good options. Are we done? Do we cut the 50th card? What is the 50th card? I guess I like the Fairchild. I like the Fairchild quite a bit. Let's see what y'all thinking. Nothing from chat. That's fine. What else could I possibly? I think we might just be good at this point, honestly. Like, I'm not sure what card to cut, and I don't think I need to worry about it. This is not a tournament deck. This is still trying to figure things out. Getting rid of the Vitruvius is... Ooh, what if we get rid of the Vitruvius? Oh, we need the Vitruvius. It's too many points, and I don't want to add 2 more ones. That exacerbates my problem. Yeah. Although, looking at neutrals as well, what's a good agenda? I can think of almost no scenarios in which I forfeit a false lead, except if it's going to get me a better agenda somehow by doing so. A vulnerability audit is evil. Nobody would see it coming. And the problem is, no one will see it coming, but neither will I, right? And then they get 3 points and I just lose. So yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I think we need the Vitruvius. And by need it, I mean I don't have a better plan than including it. I think if I can get the stock buyback train running, I'll be happy. Maybe we cut a Restore and go without it. Restore is probably the card that gets cut, or one of these upgrades. Oh, Managarm. I forgot Managarm. Managarm was a must include. So we'll go Skunk. Put in a Managarm. Oh, right. I'm not a runner. I don't get the luxury of saying, oh, let's just go with an extra card and wing it. I have to include more points if I do that. Okay, so we go inconsistent. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Good enough. All right. Are we good? Are we making this happen? We're making this happen. One crappy run at a time. Magnus here? Hey, you wouldn't by any chance be Magnus 17? Sorry, it's one of my best friends goes by that name, so I just figured I'd have to ask. All right. Yeah, never mind. Let me get out of his game. And start up my stream game. I hate to do it, but no worries. Good luck, have fun. All right, yeah, let's get this going. If I'm gonna do this, I should start it up soon. But yeah, let me take a quick. I will be right back. Take a quick moment before I start to make sure everybody here is okay. Alrighty, I'm back. So, here's my thoughts. If your goal is to win more games and get this deck down, consistency is probably better than anything else. You probably want to lean not into Djupstad+Core, but realize that we're already running out of agendas here. Ontological as a 3-2 is worse than Vitruvius because you need to land core damage first, right? And I land core damage by Djupstad, Hendrik, or Nightmare Archives. Well, if instead of stuffing my deck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that are trying to deal core damage, I instead load my deck with 2 Sansan grids, right? Then boom. I already can just switch over to the Vitruviuses, and now I'm just trying to score out. That puts me more onto a fast break plan because then I can have a wombo turn where I install Sansan and Arella and an Ice guarding them and a Kali testing all at the same turn that I drew 4 cards for 1 click because there were 4 agendas in my opponent's score area. And then, and an agenda, of course. And then advance. So I might need advance once, res the Sansan, crack the Kali, score, and boom, there you go. You install off the Salvatore and get another advance, and you get like 3 points in 1 turn. Like that is an option. So I don't know, maybe. But I'm not going to write off core damage value yet either. And the other thing to consider is we at no point in this game were ahead. We were losing and being drained of credits on HQ constantly. I think the runner managed to siphon us for 9 credits, or not siphon, diversion of funds us for 9 credits, panweave us for at least 5 credits, and Codegate tax us for an additional 2, so 16-ish credits, which could have gone into, yes, they're advancing their board state, but I'm advancing mine. Managorm on the remote, get them to run the remote 2 times, pay 10 credits, boom. Them trashing the Salvatores is really good for me too. Oh dear, I didn't actually load the new deck. Ha! Oh my god, I'm so glad nobody started that game. I would have been so disappointed. Let's do this again, shall we? And I hate the 54 cards. Let me spend the time to fix that. Especially with 2 Arellas, I don't want to drown it in 54 cards and never find it. So we're going to cut some stuff. We're going to cut 2 points. And it's going to be the Vitruvius or 2 false leads. Let's go with... I like false leads for its value. I like Elevigar because it's cheaper. I like this because it's much cheaper. I like this because it's worth value. This is just 3-2s that look like 3-1s but are actually 3-2s, but don't give the opponent as many points. These are actual 3-2s that give him more points. So we cut that. Okay. We're going to go down to 2 Nightmare Archives. But the whole point is to give him agendas, so maybe not. We're going to go down to 2 NGO fronts because they don't need to be defended. We're going to go down to 1 Managorm because it's just a nice to have, not a must have. Isn't Mr. Hendrik nice to have but not a must have? How am I dealing core damage? Djupstad, Hendrik, and Nightmare Archives. Why all 3? Nightmare Archives is -1s, or it's core. Either way, it supports my agenda. Djupstad is how I try to do core damage to turn on the Ontologics. That's fine. Now I only need to get rid of 1 card, and it's going to be the most expensive ice that I rarely can afford to res, considering that my entire package supports different options. Or the drafter that is rare. No, the drafter is going to get a lot of value once stock buyback comes into play. Yeah, this is objectively a stronger deck. I should probably cut the restore and go with a one-off biotic, so that if I end up in an endgame where I can't possibly win, I can still biotic through it. But I'm not going to do that. I should do that. I'm just not gonna. That's future thoughts. Let's go ahead and prep this sucker. Techie.net. Save. Okie dokie. Now we go back and we get ready. New name. Twitch.tv/BountyHunterSAX2. Streaming. Streaming. You know what occurs to me is that a less than scrupulous person could choose to just watch my stream while I play. And considering that my deck operates on isn't it remoting, that's not good. Oh well, here's to hoping people aren't all terrible. Yeah, tell me how that goes for you. I think also I might consider losing a drafter to get back the I have the double Managarm. Yes, that's fine. If I have double Managarm, double Lorella, double Djupstad, triple Nightmare Archives, that's really good. I'm on 16 agendas, which means that 1 in 3 I lose on R&D, which is actually not the end of the world, because if that happens, they're running R&D, so that means they're giving me money, giving me cards, until eventually I am ready to bloop up, and then it's harder to run R&D. And I don't know. Managarm is probably going to be a really good pick for this deck. 2 credits to charge them 5 credits. Actually, that's a good way to think of it. Aurella is 2 credits to res, and on res they probably trash it for 5. Managarm is 2 credits to res, but it's 5 to pay through, plus 3 is 8 credits, or double click and 3 credits, which is like 5 credits worth of value. That's a hell of a denial, and Restore brings it back once. That's just really good. Did I keep the Arc Lockdown? I chose to get rid of it. We'll have to decide at the end whether or not I like Arc Lockdown being in this deck. I feel like no one expects it, but yeah. Indeedly doodly. For those of you who are joining me from my Crawl Stone Soup viewership, thank you so much for coming out and for watching and being interested in something new and different. I have played a lot of Android Netrunner in my time, but I kind of quit when the official license was pulled from FFG, and then I kind of sort of got back into it now because Nisei has been running the game. Null Signal Games has been running the game almost as long as FFG was officially running it beforehand. So that's kind of awesome to see that from a user project. Do you know what occurs to me? I'm trying to justify mentally the value of the Djupstad, and it occurs to me that's proving harder than I thought. Or not Djupstad, the core damage side of this. I am putting in work to make the 4/2s anything better than just being 4/2s. I can assume the Nightmare Archives will trigger once each game because I have 3 of them, so it's going to come up early. And when hit, it's very, very likely that the runner takes the -1 point instead of coring. Outside of that, I've got Djupstad. If I can score 1 agenda off a Djupstad once, these all become as good as 3/2s. But in order to get that better than Vitruvius value, I need 2 core damage or better. 2/2s, you're really talking about how good it is. Now, how do I get there against the average runner who is going to be able to get in and demolish my remote whenever they feel like it? And I guess the answer is make my remote harder to demolish. I would love for an opponent who pinhole threadings the remote to get rid of a Djupstad. To me, that would say you made them work to get there. Now we can Aurella and score out. Because the real win condition of the deck is the Aurella scoring. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. What other methods of dealing core damage do we have? let's answer that question, and maybe that will illuminate our options. Core damage, whatever it is I wanted in traction or neutral, there's no way that I'm paying influence for core damage as HB. I'd also want it in standard, so a lot of these are irrelevant. I'm going to ignore ice because ice methods tend to be too unreliable for me. Bloop is the best of those anyway. Whenever the runner suffers at least one core, do one net. If there's a res piece of next dice when you score next wave 2, do one core. This agenda gets -1 advantage. Okay, so ontologic dependence we're including, obviously. Nightmare archives we're including. What's this? When your turn begins, you may trace X. X is the number of power counters. If successful, do one core damage and trash. If unsuccessful, make it bigger. This would require me to have a unrunnable server for 4 turns before it would cost the runner 10 credits to completely ignore it. That's not even considering, I'm not even considering that option. So forget about it. And it's 3 to trash. Yeah, this is never going to be good enough for me. Overrider is interesting. It's in faction. It's an aggressive trap option, but I would rather use my agendas as my traps and something that gives me money. So forget about it. No, I already said I'm not going to consider ice. I might come back and consider ice, but not yet. Thule is the obvious choice for. You guys aren't seeing any of this, are you? Huh. Let me throw this in here. There we go. That's better. You know what? I completely missed it. You're absolutely right. We've got Santa coming to deliver presents, the kind corporate Santa. Unfortunately, he's playing Corp, so I can't play against him unless I were to play my World Runner, which I should. I've played World Runner every stream this year, but nah. There we go. I can do this actually. Until I'm in a game, I may as well just throw the chat overlay on. But yeah, I do want to continue tinkering this corp as long as I can get into a game in a reasonable fashion. Ooh, Ryan Knight. Oh, he was in Chrome City, so he's no longer legal. He's rotated. But Ryan Knight would be interesting. Trash, do one core. Use this ability only during a run on this server, and only if the runner has no unspent clicks. So no, people don't that trigger anymore. If access is a trap, when the runner accesses, trace 3, lose double gold click, or suffer 1 core. Not usable from archives, but is an upgrade. That's interesting. I would need to be richer than them, and I'm not. Whenever there is a successful run of the server, the runner must either take 1 core or jack out. If the runner jacks out, gain money, draw, and trash. Oof, that's really good. Is Terminal Directive legal at this point? I don't think it is. I think Terminal Directive is like rotated or not allowed. But if Terminal Directive is still in, this is interesting to consider. No, forget it. It's 4 to res and 1 to trash. They're just going to run it in the end of my... They're going to be running my R&D and getting that. That's not worth considering. So yeah, the best aggressive way to guarantee core damage is to stack Hendrix in my remote. If I have 3 Hendrix in the same remote and float money, it doesn't matter what you do. If you run it, you get cored. If you don't run it, you don't get cored. But then you're not running my remote, so I kind of just win by default. Yeah, how many? Am I running 2? I should be running 2. Ideally, I'd like to run 3 of everything and always draw the right card. That's just not how games work. But it might be worth going up 1 on Hendrix. Oh, I'm running 0 Hendrix. I cut him entirely. Interesting. Hendrik or Managarm? Managarm says, I don't want you to get in and mess with my Djupstad. Hendrik says, get in if you like. I'll still punt you out. That's interesting. Riot Suppression. Take a core or you only have 1 click. Remove from game. How did I not catch these? I guess I didn't go over the operations. Do one core before its others. Currents are all banned. Play only if tagged, so forget about it. Oh, we got a bite. Someone I don't know. Hello. Good luck, have fun. Let's see how this plays out. Oh no, it's another criminal and one who likes to make me res ice, presumably for extra pain. Okay. I'm opening with no money and one agenda. Why can't I open with no agenda and more money? I probably mulligan for money, right? Right. Yeah, let's mulligan for money. Okie dokie. So now we are opening with, and he kept, so that's even worse. With ice, but no money. It's the same. It's basically the same opener, except minus the spin doctor. Okay, so this is a really bad opener for me. That's fine. I can deal with a bad opener or two. I think we draw on double ice is probably the play, or draw ice and money if I find money. We didn't. We want bloop into an ETR, ideally, and we want an ETR that hurts. So a barrier breaker doesn't hurt. This hurts a little, but I want this to be the second ice they encounter, not the first. So echo here on HQ and R&D. Now we do not res this for anything other than a event that I want stopped. He can steal my Mega Pre, my Eligar. I don't want him to steal my Onto, but he can even steal my Onto. That's fine. We need to lock down these servers. Hey, you got the Mega Pre. Perfect. I'll take money. Thank you. Run again. I'm not resing it for anything other than an event. Hey, guess what? That's fine too. Keep going. What else do you want to do? Run again? Do I want to res it now? I do, because he's not going to last click and get a breaker at the same time. And that lets me set up my bloop. So yeah, that's fine. Now I can bloop him, potentially. I don't want to bloop him yet. Draw is probably fine here. Draw. And draw. If I install this naked on the remote and he runs it, I know that he'll run anything. So let's do that. If he doesn't run it, I can trash it and it'll go to archives where I always wanted it anyway. Do I do this or not? Yeah, he'll lose all the money he makes, and I'll get multiple ice rest. It is a sound plan. So then now this also gets a token, which is great. And yeah, we can install double advance and then just leave it be. And end turn. And now he can start wondering what all this stuff is. Next play would be to install and double advance something I can actually score, like a Mega Pre. If he doesn't run any of this again, then we start getting really ballsy. Okay, so he's just going to bounce off this. That's fine. He has a lot of money. That's fine. He's going to start playing Siphon Tricks or something nasty eventually. Whoa, what is that? I haven't even seen that. Oh, thank you. Yes, I did mean to switch off the overlay. Thank you so much for the reminding. Apologies. But yes, let's do that. Okay, so he's got money, he's got cards, and I get to decide how good my read is on this guy. If I just do this and go to 0, he knows one is a trap. He has to assume the other is a trap. He has to assume that the other trap now he knows one of them is an NGO front, but he doesn't know which one it is. And he might correctly decide ignore everything in the remotes so I don't get cerebral overridered. That's what I would decide. He's got code gate breakers, but not barrier breakers, so I'm not yet vulnerable. He's got sentry breakers, so he can be unblooped once, but bloop is now a threat. I think this is the time to Djupstad him. So if I install the Djupstad, advance the Mega Pre, drop the bloop. Hang on, I gotta do math. Thinking. I can crack this to go to 8, drop the Djupstad, that's 4, drop the bloop, that's 7, advance, score, core, blocked, and not have enough to res bloop. Let me make sure I did that right. 8 plus 2 is 10. 4 and minus 1 more for this 3. Why is math so hard? All right, let's try it again. I need 1 credit to score this. I need 4 to res this, that's 5, and I need 3 to res this, that's 8. So in theory, I can do everything. And that would protect my Djupstad, because in order to play this, pay through it, he would go broke. Even if I lose the Djupstad at that point, I'm happy. The alternative is, of course, to crack this, click for this, not get Djupstad value, or just wait an extra turn and do this with more money. No, I think I have to go fast. So, because I have the ontologics and they're all burning all in my pocket. So server 3 is good. Res, crack for money, that's 8. Res, advance, score, SportsMetal, and Djupstad. We definitely take the money. And now install this and float enough to do another core. Or hedge fund, let him trash this. I already got my core damage. No. This is better. This implies that I could be doing more damage, and it's up to him to decide how much he wants to risk. Or he could do that. Force my hand and get money and get in and trash it. How much does it cost him to get in? 1, 2, 3, 4 to raise the strength. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, going down to 1 credit, and gets 2 credits back, going to 3 credits. It's a sound plan. That's fine. I'll res ice, protecting that, and I'll de-res this, and he can have a couple R&D accesses while he decides how much he wants to dismantle the Djupstad grid. I don't actually know what the correct answer is here. I don't know if he should or shouldn't. What I do know is I can put a nightmare on it if he doesn't decide right away. That's the ticket. Oh, he didn't decide right away. Good. So Arella and nightmare and credit. That looks really evil, actually. Arella. Nope. Arella and nightmare and credit. So we're threatening here is core damage by 3 advanced score. He doesn't know that I can't actually do that. He almost certainly goes after one of those cards, probably the Djupstad. That's fine. I actually don't care that he got rid of the Djupstad, because he already took the core I needed, and the real goal of the game is these bad boys. I can credit, go to 9, have a solid server, and that's a good play. And he threw out a cat's cradle. Oh, he has duplicates. Good to know. Luminal on the remote. Credit, hedge fund. No, there's a nightmare there, so I don't want to put it if I don't have to. Draw credit, hedge fund. Credit, hedge fund seems okay. It's a very bad position, but I'm playing it as best I can. I mean, in fairness to me, I have a deck full of 1-pointers, and I've drawn 1, 2, 3 of them, but I've drawn all these 2-pointers. He's gone through all his fast money, I hope. He's got 6, 7 money cards played already. At least 10 credits. I don't. So that's good. This would cost me 3. Cost him a click. No, go in. There's literally nothing I care. If you get an agenda, I'll just draw a bunch of cards. It helps my tempo. You didn't, so I don't care. Draw. Draw. Install on remote. Do I install the cheapo that I want to score or the expensive that I don't want to score? If I do the 3-2, it helps my game a lot. If I do the 4-2, he probably doesn't run it. I don't think he runs this, actually. But he can afford to run it, so maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't put me on having a handful of agendas right now. I gotta put something here, so it's either the 1-pointer or the 2-pointer, and I think it's gotta be the 2-pointer, and if he goes in and steals it, so be it. That's fine. If he doesn't go in and steal it, I'm much happier. So he's not running Nightmare Archives, that's fine. That was a... I think we put the Luminal there now, and use all the extra clicks to set my turn up next turn. Or we put the Hyperloop, and we put down the Luminal after that. And he's only on 2 points. Yeah, we're doing this. We're going to put the Luminal in 3. No, we'll put the Hyperloop in 3. We'll put the Hyperloop in 3, and we'll use the money of the Hyperloop, whether I score it or steal it, to spend. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine with me. You got money. You can go in there and get it if you want to. I put the cheap one in, and I'm really glad I didn't put the Luminal there. It's up to him. He pays 7 and gets back 2, so that's good. It's a significant tax. I think I draw here. If I take money, I don't have anything to do with the money yet, so yeah, I think I draw here. Yes! We made the right call. And he trashes Arella. Now he doesn't have money. But he has Fenris, and he uses it on expense. So I'm going to be needing money this game, basically, is what I'm reading here. Let's go Luminal Echo Drafter. Can I afford all that? Can I afford to not do it? If I put Luminal, I don't think he's getting in this turn. If he's getting in, he's getting in at severe personal cost. Let's put the one that actually he can't steal. So yeah, Luminal's this is the right time for Luminal. And server 3 and server 3. You can get into R&D. You can have R&D. I don't need R&D. I do need to shuffle back in my Ontos, so I should probably put Spin Doctor on server 1, res, and shuffle back all the Nightmare Archives. That would be a brilliant play. He doesn't have his Barrier Breaker. Now he has it. Okay. So he can get in here if he is so inclined. Nothing I do about that is going to stop him. What's this? Managarm. Okay, so now I have a lot of options. I trashed it voluntarily. Because I figured it was more valuable to me gone. And the agenda scored out instead. So it's in archives right now. Here, do I want cards or money? I think I want money, but I think the correct answer is to want cards, because I can get 8 credits for 1 click. So we'll take the cards, and we'll use our clicks to set up our cards. All right, perfect. We got Restore. So we restore Djupstad. We put the Managarm. And then do we money up? Well, let's take this a step at a time. He's got 5 credits, but all breakers showing. I've got a very easy to break into server because it's in the wrong order. If he gets in here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 credits, 5 credits to break in. Thinking. And then whether or not he breaks this is up to him. If he can magically get 5 more credits, that's fine. He's on low pointage, so this is actually okay. Yeah, I think we go Djupstad. No. We don't actually score this turn. That's what we do. Yeah. So we're going to restore a Djupstad grid into server 3. Okay, I didn't know I had to pay for it. Well, that's a really bad play. And we're going to drop this in server 3, and we're going to stock buyback. It's a good thing we had the stock buyback. So this is perfect. If he tries to, unless he pinholes it, which is a possibility, I can still afford to res most of this. Counter ice. Go ahead. I had forgotten about this part, and it is quite painful. No further actions. You're in. But you're not going to be able to... Okay, well, he shuts down the bloop. That's really bad. Let's tread lightly. So it's going to cost more than I can afford to get in here. It's amazing how fast your money runs out in this game. But I do have one thing going for me. And that is that I can res Managarm. And he can't afford to get into Managarm. So that's something. Because Tread Lightly increases the res cost of everything, and when you stack that with his other +1 costs, I can probably not afford anything. But this keeps him out, and now we're on the Djupstad Managarm plan, which is where we always want it to be. And we install this in the remote, click for a bunch of credits, and bloop him is kind of the plan. Nah, that's a slow plan. Let's drop this on server 1. Res it. No good luck. That's fine. Credit. And we put something in the remote for sure. It's either this or this. Which one helps me win better? I think Mega Pre helps me win better because I go to game point. False Lead doesn't help me win that much. But he's getting in this turn. So I should be prepared to lose whatever I put. I think Mega Pre is the correct answer. If he doesn't steal it, I'm way ahead. And if he does steal it, I don't mind that much. It's 1 point. I keep doing that. I keep using the wrong server. Click. False lead. No. Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. This is fine. And what are we discarding? Ontological, false lead, extra ice that we don't need. I want to shuffle the Nightmare Archives back in, so I guess I'm pitching the false lead. Yeah, just pitch the false lead. Like, why are you worrying about keeping this? I can't afford to res this ice. I have more ice than I'll ever be able to afford to res. So ice that doesn't actually win me the game isn't worth keeping right now. Did he forget that I can bloop? I can't bloop because it's +1 credit cost. No! And he can break. Well, that's fine. Let him in. That's fine. He's going to dismantle this server, but he can't trash everything. He can only trash either the Djupstad or the Managarm. He can't... Oh, he can double-click through and trash everything and steal. Damn it! I mathed wrong because I forgot about the bonus res costs. It's my fault. I deserve this. Let's take the money. Oh, why couldn't he? Oh, because he has to pay to trash it. Okay, good. Good. I am not playing this as well as I'd like, but I'm playing it well enough. Draw one, install something on the remote, and mass money seems reasonable. Draw one, install something on the remote, and mass money seems reasonable. And do I put the 2-pointer or the 1-pointer? Well, it's obviously the 1-pointer. Now, he wins the game statistically by running HQ 4 times. But it's going to be 3 credits per run, so it's not like he can just do that willy-nilly. He's taking the core damage this time, and I'm using the false lead to help me score if he makes me. What's that? That's a very slow way to gain money. Good. That's what I like to hear. Slow way to gain money. tread lightly on my remote means that it could get really expensive to do anything with it. I don't need more cards at this stage. I just need enough money for his shenanigans. So we'll ditch the pulse or the bloop. Ditch the bloop. I've already got a bloop everywhere I intend to res it, so it's good enough. The majority of my points are in hand. I can spin Dr. Nightmare Archives at him whenever I like. Oh, well, I guess I just lost the game, huh? He's going to see 3 cards, and if he hits both agendas, I lose instantaneously. But if he only sees 1, I'm okay. Well, he got 1. Draw 2 cards. Arella. Woo! Okay. We're not dead yet. All right. Elivigao. I think just Elivigao is good enough here. Wait. Undo click. He's at 2 core damage. He's at 2 core damage. I think we just won. I think somehow we just pulled this out. Oh my god, we pulled it out. Huzzah. So literally every decision that we made on the rebuild was a good decision for this game. The Wayland money asset, what's it called? Stock buyback is the only reason we weren't bankrupt and dying. The Arella Salvatore cost him 10 credits to trash both, 5 credits to trash 1 from hand. And would have been a nice change. The Djupstad+Sportsmetal meant that he got in and didn't get in, got in and paid through the nose to dismantle the server. Even the Restore paid dividends because it gave me the second Djupstad back when I needed it, and he couldn't dismantle the Djupstad. The Djupstad triggers kept the pain flowing, and even the NGO front bait on the board let me fork him with, well, if you don't go after my remotes, you don't know which one to go after. It could be a trap. It could not be a trap. The Nightmare Archives gave me the opportunity to test to see whether he was the I run everything type or not. This all actually played out just fine. My God, man, what a game. What a game. And the reason I'm so excited about it is because we literally took our issues with the version 0.1 of the deck, trimmed it down to a consistent size, and made meaningful changes that actually worked, even though we didn't get the order we wanted, we didn't get the stuff we wanted in the right order, we were poor at times, even though we misplayed once or twice on the count. It's so much fun. I love this game. It's just every time. And the best feeling is knowing that this game was not won by I muscled you out and there was nothing you could ever do. There were bluffs, there were plays and counter plays. Such a satisfying run. Anyway, that is absolutely all the time I've got for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this game. I hope you all enjoyed coming out and watching it. If there's anything that you all are looking for me to run Netrunner-wise, you holler at me, let me know, and I will be happy to try and cater to something, I guess. Clearly, I am not your top-tier, most competitive player, but that is kind of nice sometimes to not have to only see top-tier competitive. And I hope that I'm able to explain my decision-making and choices well enough that y'all can understand why I play what I play and how my play makes sense when in fact it does, at least. For those of you curious about a deck list or wanting to do it, let me leave this screen up here for a moment so that y'all can easily try this deck for yourself. I am not comfortable publishing this yet. I don't think it's that good. I think that it is worth toying with more. I think there's something to this Djupstad Menegarm. You could argue it's a win more situation, and I wouldn't tell you that you're wrong. But again, having that 2 advance situation was really good. Good night, y'all, and thanks for coming out. What else would I say here? I think that's it. I think I've literally said everything I was going to say about this. If you have an idea for how to play, if you have an idea for a deck, don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't feel like you need to get it right. And definitely don't delay jumping in and trying it to get it perfect first. It's never going to be perfect first. That's not the point. The point is to get something out there that's viable, usable, playable as a good base so that you can then build on it. And if you're like completely stumped as to how to get any kind of deck going at all, you're new at it, then just go for looking at somebody else's deck and then use that as a base and then build up from there. If I was curious about a New Earth Hub deck, I could absolutely start with somebody else's Near Earth Hub, see kind of what ice makes sense, then remove the stuff that doesn't work for the way I want it to play and just play it my way. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Thank you all for watching. Hope you had fun, and I will see you guys next time.